Hello, everybody. My name is Kimura, and today we will be reviewing our very last episode of Season 3 of Bubble Guppies. We have finally made it to the finale. We finally made it. After 26 episodes, we finally made it. So, without any further ado, let us see what I did there. Let's review our very last episode of Season 3, which is none other than Season 3, Episode 26, Fruit Camp. In this episode, Dima must learn to try broccoli for the first time if she wants to earn her broccoli badge. Now, I feel like this was a great way to cap off the season. Not only because it's a Dima-centric episode, which you know how much I feel about Dima. I love her. She's my girl. She's my queen, my drama queen, forever and always. But I also hold very sentimental value for this episode as well, you know? As a young kid who struggled, who was a very picky eater, Sorry if you hear that. One of my main gripes was that I could eat vegetables. The thing was, I could eat vegetables, but it would always take me like a while, you know? It would always take me a while. But my parents knew that, and they said, they say something that, throughout this episode, Dima says, you're not ready, she's not ready to try it yet. I even told them, I'm not ready to try this. I don't want to try it yet, you know? So then they would understand. And, my parents, and when they first gave me the idea of wanting to eat broccoli, mainly it came from my grandmother because she, to this day, after I started loving broccoli, I would always trust her to make my broccoli. Any single meal she makes in the kitchen, she knows that I always eat broccoli with it. I always eat broccoli, always. And, my parents and my grandmother, when they first gave me the idea of wanting to eat broccoli, they had the same response as Molly did when we first find out Dima doesn't like broccoli. Like, have you tried it? Maybe you'll like it. And, and I guess you could say, it has a couple of resemblance to, like, Yo Gabba Gabba. When it comes to Bro Bean, he doesn't really want to try new foods. I kind of get that vibe as well. Okay, so episode starts with Molly and Gil swimming to school, and they come across some apple trees with one of the apple trees falling on Gil's head, and we see a group of scouts and their sergeant, which his name is Sergeant Pickle, and he asked his scouts, does anybody know a red fruit that grows on a tree? And ironically, they're standing right next to it, which is an apple tree. And it's pretty ironic that what they were trying to find was right there. I mean, that's what we have audience participation for. And then they introduce themselves. He says his name is Sergeant Pickle, and his name, they said those are his crab scouts. And I didn't know where to put this in at, but I might as well put it in now. But there's this person named Laura Griggs. I think I said that name right. And I want to guess that she might have been the voice of the crab scout that said that she just earned her celery badge, and I read it that she makes her second and final appearance before she passed away in November 2019 at the age of 13 due to an asthma attack. So this episode came out in 2015, so 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. So she was 9 years old. And that's sad. And listen, I doubt her parents are going to see this video. I doubt it. But, like, my condolences go to her, go to the family of this poor girl. Because the way she sounded in the episode, she sounded very lively. And it's very sad, One of my favorite YouTuber comedians actually died from an asthma attack at age 25, literally the night of her birthday, like last March. And nobody wants to deal with that, And that's very, very sad. asthma is a difficult thing, and I've grown up with a lot of people in my area that have asthma pumps. I mean, but sometimes they don't really take it seriously because I mean they do have asthma, but like sometimes they pretend to use it in like a drug matter. I'm not gonna say the word on YouTube, but if you know this certain thing that people use to like let me just say blow clouds. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't like talking about this type of stuff on here, but they don't. Some people they don't tend to take it seriously, but like asthma is a really important thing to talk about because out here we really need like asthma safety and people and making sure because we have any if you know anybody who has asthma, I actually do this thing for me, okay? I ask you, even if it doesn't really make a difference, it'll still make you feel good inside. If you know somebody who has asthma, okay? If you know somebody who has asthma and you want to make sure that they're safe and make sure that they don't have like an asthma attack out in public, all you have to do is ask them, do you have your asthma pump? And even if you get the answer yes, even if they tell you I'm going to be fine, I promise you, it'll still make you feel good inside that you asked them because you're preventing something bad to happen. Especially something that bad to happen to a 13-year-old girl who didn't, who is just about to, who's literally a tween that happened to. And that's very, very sad. And the reason why I'm so passionate about asthma is not really because I have it for myself, because like over the years, I've learned how important asthma safety is, even if somebody who doesn't have asthma. And I also watched an episode of Arthur that tackled asthma when Buster had asthma himself. So, yeah, I'm very passionate about this kind of topic. So anybody who watches my videos who does have asthma or know somebody who does have asthma, please make sure that you have your asthma pump or anybody around you has their asthma pump. Even if you're just asking them like completely out of the blue, you'll still make a difference. You'll still feel good inside, and you'll be preventing something that can happen to somebody. So, before I end off this part of the episode review, I just want to say, rest in peace, Miss Laurel. Miss Laurel, you'll be missed, and I'm sorry you had to go out like that. But you'll always leave a special place in your family's heart, even in my heart too. Even if I didn't meet you. I promise you, you'll always be missed, sweetie. And God bless you. So, with that being said, back to the episode review. So then, Sergeant Pickle explains that that his Crab Scouts love fruits and vegetables, with even one of the scouts saying, "Are there any more green beans? I'm a green bean eating machine." And they said they have to report to the supermarket to get some more, and this is something that I don't know if like that should get praised, I know there's a lot of Bubble BG haters out there, but I mean like showing a kid on screen like visibly being like excited to eat a vegetable, not just like out of force, like actually like wanting to eat them, that should be looked upon as a good role model, that should be looked upon as a good thing. I just hope, as I think for all Bubble Guppy episodes, I hope that parents look at moments like these and just praise what the show is teaching their kids in our non-Bubble Guppy world, And then I absolutely love how they do like the little marching. It's really cute. I'm kind of getting flashbacks from the Legend of Pinkfoot when Dima's marching to school. I kind of get that type of vibe. And obviously I forgot to mention this, but the play on title is the name of is obviously Boot Camp. It's obviously Boot Camp. So yeah, I like that. I don't like boot camps. Boot camps I heard are very strict, but I mean, a much friendlier title. Might I say a much fruitier title. I had to. So then Molly and Gil then start marching to school. And then when they finally get there, Mr. Grouper even joins in with their marching. And then Gobi asks, "Are you saying about fruit?" And Molly says, "Uh-huh, and vegetables." And then we hear Una and Nani saying that they like, well, Una says that she likes cherries, and then when Nani mentions broccoli, Dima had the same reaction as I did when I first even had the mention of broccoli to me. And Mr. Grouper asks, "What's the matter, Dima? Don't you like broccoli?" And she nods automatically, no. And then Molly says, "Have you tried it? Maybe you'll like it." And they're saying, "Maybe." And then we have our question segment about where do different fruits and vegetables grow, like strawberries and apples. And then we have our pop song, Fruits and Veggies, which I must say, this was my Grace's World do the veggie dance. This was mine, okay? Before Grace's World, the veggie dance, I had this, okay? And it's a good song. It's a really good song. Oh, and by the way, this is the last episode where Tino voices Mr. Grouper until the revival series in season 5. So all of season 4 next season, we're gonna be hearing nothing but no, wait, I got that confused. No, I'm sorry. I meant to say Fred. I'm sorry. Fred. This is the last episode where Fred voices Mr. Grouper until the revival series in season 5. Tino, we're gonna be hearing Tino all of season 4 next in our next season, which it's kind of sad, you know. It's like next season is gonna be like saying goodbye to a legend along the way. It's kind of sad, very sad, honestly. But we're not there quite yet. Okay, we're not there quite yet. All right, and then we have our shop segment. Oh, and I forgot to mention, there's some good moments during the pop song. Nani eating a lemon, his face, and Dima's iconic fruit hat returns from Bubble Bites. Amazing. And I forgot who did it, but like one of them was driving like an apple car. I'm sorry if you hear those bangs. Who remembers The Busy World of Richard Scarry, and who remembers Lowly Worm? Do you remember that he used to drive in an apple car? Because that's what that reminds me of. It does. Like, oh my goodness. And then we have our shop segment, and for a change, we have Gobi. We have Gobi as our shop segment, shopkeeper, which I think might be the first time. Let me think. I can't think of anything at the moment. Oh wait, I remember. Gup Gup in a way where he helped Nani with the airplane. Yeah. If you guys know any more that he did, comment down below, because I feel like there's like one or two more. I could be misremembering. I don't know if I said that right, but we gotta continue. And then for a change, I like to switch rule where, remember in Party at Sea, we had Una as the shopkeeper, and we had Gobi as the customer. Oh wait, Gobi was the shopkeeper, but in who's gonna play the big bad wolf? We have this same thing again. Una shopkeeper, Gobi customer. You want to put on a play for his little things, for his little his little shrimp, you know. And then we have the Una's little bunny, who actually turns animated when the bubble pops to the shop. It's like a little bowling thing where like it's cute, and the little bunny nodding and stuff. We have to help them make a smoothie. And I love how the bowling ball is a cantaloupe, because it's kind of ironic, because in different countries, cantaloupe is actually called rock fruit. It's actually called rock fruit. I'm not even kidding. Look it up. And, in real life, how bowling balls are pretty heavy. They feel like you're carrying a rock. So that's kind of ironic. And just to be clear, I love cantaloupe. It's me and my grandmother's favorite treat to eat. No matter during any season, we will always catch us eating cantaloupe together. One of the best memories I can have. One of the best things I could do with her, honestly. To this day, we still eat cantaloupe. Whenever we see a cantaloupe in store, when it's nice and ripe, it's on shelves, I always ask, "Can we get a cantaloupe?" And she'll say yes, because we both love cantaloupe. And so does my grandfather. He doesn't eat them as much as we do, but We are cantaloupeaholics. Cantaloupeaholics. And then we have our and I also like it. It's cute when they're singing the "It's Time for Lunch" song. You can see the bunny like moving back and forth. It's pretty cute. It's really cute. We have our lunch joke, which is veg tickles, and the vegetables are tickling Gil. It's funny. And then we have our Molly and Gil segment, and this is, oh boy, this is where the little fish is. Since it's the season finale, are we gonna give Gil a break? No, we are not. We're gonna cause, like, I feel like this has to be, in my opinion, some of the quote unquote most mean-spirited jokes that little fishes have ever done to Gil. Because, like, come on now. All the guy wanted to do was pick some fruit and vegetables. And he can't even act nicely because what do? They put peas on him. Like, literally falling out of the sky. Even, I mean, at first it was already kind of like mean when they hid the carrots, and and they said, "What's the magic word?" And he said, "Please." And they said, "Did you say peas?" And he said, "No, I said please, not peas." And I mean, come on now. Would you want to live in a world where you can't even act nicely because the magic word that you're using is being associated with something else, and you can't even act in said way because something bad will always happen to you? Sorry about those sirens. But, I mean, like, come on now. Like, give that guy a break. He just wants to get some fruit. And we're going to have this later on. And then we headed over to the classroom, and Mr. Gruber and Nani prepared, like, fruit and veggie snacks for them. And they have to guess what it is. And I like how I'm not going to guess. I'm going to tell you what the other platters are. The other fruit and vegetable that they have to guess. But the third one, it's like a cute little platter with different fruits and vegetables, like tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff. And they got a little ranch in the middle. Like, okay, like, I see them. They got a little veg platter going on. Okay. I would want them to prepare snacks for me if I had a party. Like, cause these look really good and fresh. And then while they're eating, it's specifically Dima, Gobi, and Gil around this little platter. Gil offers Dima some broccoli, and she just nods no. And then he eats it, and he said, "It's yummy, crunchy." And once again, she says, "I'm not ready to try it yet." But are they just eating raw broccoli? I don't know about you, but I, for the life of me, cannot eat raw vegetables. Okay, I can't eat raw carrots. If I eat carrots, I'm gonna have to eat them in a soup. If I'm gonna eat broccoli, I cannot eat them. I don't want to eat them raw because I feel like it's gonna be kind of dirty, in my opinion. I want to say these are clean, but I don't know. I always eat my broccoli sauteed. I can't eat broccoli that's like bone dry. Certainly that hasn't been washed. Certainly not. But that's just my personal opinion. And then we have our outside segment, and ironically enough, for two things. First thing, we have Gobi and Nani in a story segment, like in the amusement parking lot. And on the wiki even says that these stories have a lot in common. Like, they're in space, they're astronauts, a lot of resemblance here. And guess who returns? Rotten Tomato. And he even says, "Guess who's back?" I told you he was coming back. I told you. And throughout the story, he's turning all of their produce, all their produce like rotten and stuff. And well, he and to the point where even when they go into super space, he's still able to track them down. They track them down into a supermarket where they're putting all their fruits and vegetables in. And when he's about to blast them a final time, they're like, please don't ruin our ripe produce." And then he's like, "Your what produce?" And they explain, "Ripe." And then as soon as he eats an orange, mind you, with the skin still on, none of you could have peeled it for him. Oh well. He finally sees the error of his ways, and he says, "What have I done? I don't want to make things rotten anymore. I want to make rotten things ripe." And he finally we have a villain who not only we see for a second time, but actually changes his ways. And I like how at the end he says, everything is so nice and ripe, but not me. I'll always be rotten. But not in the personality sense, in the appearance sense, which I like that. And so I guess that's the end of the Rotten Tomato saga. Took us 2 seasons, but we finally got to see him again, and he finally changed the air of his ways. And then we have our dance song, which is the fruit picking dance. It's pretty good. I like it. I like it. It's cute. And then we have our, once again, another Molly and Gil segment. And now Gil is trying to pick oranges now. And the oranges keep on moving. And Molly says, maybe if you ask them nicely, if you can pick them. And I don't know if she's saying that. The way she said it makes me think that something makes me feel like the little fishies know. She knows the little fishies are oranges. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I could be wrong, but But once again, Gil tries to ask, what's the magic word? Please. Once again, he gets hit with the peas. Dude can catch a break. Now can he? Oh my God. He really can't catch a break. He really can't. And you know what kind of takes me off even more? Is when the little fishes, when they finish doing the business, they literally swim away. Like, aren't you going to help him? Aren't you going to say, are you okay? Come on now. Like, seriously. Come on now. Okay. And then we have the Crab Scouts showing up, and they're asking Molly and Gil if they want to go to a fruit and veggie race. And it's finally time for our last field trip segment of this season. And then they're at fruit camp, and we have Sergeant Pickle explaining that if they want to earn their fruit and veggie bags, they have to go through every obstacle and eat a fruit and vegetable every step of the way. And the race is starting, and first they have to go down on carrot fields, and then Gil is the first one. Gil eats a carrot here and his carrot badge, and then Molly and Una, they earn their grape badge, and the peach little, the thing where the peaches are swinging, like, that's when things were getting serious, when it was Gobi, Nani, and Dima. Like, oh my God, I thought they was gonna get hit. And Gobi and Nani earned their peach badge, and then it's finally Dima's turn, and I feel like she got some of the somewhat dangerous but some of the best obstacles, like a ranch dressing, like if you fall in, and she even does a flip when she's hanging on to, like, when she's like gliding over to it, and she even has like, and before she gets to her vegetable, she has to like go through like an avocado ranch, which is cute. And I like her little fins. If you look at her, the way she's moving with her fins, it's really cute. It's really cute. And then she finally makes it, but when she uncovers it, surprise, it's broccoli. And all the other guppies are just looking at her like they're giving her they're trying to give her the confidence. First it's Molly, she's like, "Come on, Dima," and then Sergeant Pickle, he gives her that one last boost of confidence she needs, and he says, "You can do it, Sprout." And then she holds her breath, goes in for the crunch, and just like that, she says it's delicious. And she earns her broccoli badge. And then they're all cheering and chanting for Dima. They're all happy, and she did it. My girl Dima, she earned one for the team. That's my girl. That is my girl. That's my girl. Now, on to my perspective. So, like I said at the beginning of this review, I did not want to try broccoli. I was not ready to try it yet. I was not ready to try it yet. But then it came around summer vacation, right? Summer vacation. I want to say I was in like the first grade. When this happened to me. The first grade. I want to say I was in like the first grade, or if not first, then second. Sure was in kindergarten. So, I didn't want to try broccoli. But then, obviously, when I seen Bubble Guppies, I would always try to tune in whenever they had, like, new episodes airing and stuff. I was be like, oh my God, I have to try it. And then, when I finally watched this episode, I can't remember if if I watched it when it's first airing, or, like, on demand. I watched it and I really took into account of Dima's journey of like broccoli, eating broccoli, and I already knew that she was my favorite character when I at this age, and then I was like, and after I finished watching the episode, and the part where she was about to eat the broccoli, I was like, ew, broccoli, disgusting. Like, me and her were on the same page. But then when she finally ate it, and when I noticed how happy she was that she tried it, and how everybody else was happy that she tried it, when I finished watching the episode, I really thought, if I try broccoli, do you think people will be happy that I tried something new? So then I want to say I thought it out for like about 2 days. And then when my grandmother was asking me what I wanted for lunch, I said, I want chicken nuggets. And then I said something that made her jaw drop. And broccoli. And then she's like, what? She's like, yep, I'm finally ready to try broccoli. And then she said, oh my goodness. And then it was time. I wanted to eat my chicken nuggets first, but I wanted to eat the broccoli first to make her happy. But then once I finally did, all my worries were gone because it was good. It was good. It was nice and green. She likes to season her broccoli a little bit for me, a little bit. And I was like, this is really good. And she was so happy for me. And I was staying with her at the time, and I got to call my parents, and she was like, guess what your daughter just did? She finally ate broccoli. And they was like, what? And I was on the phone saying, I finally tried broccoli. And then they was so happy for me. So if it wasn't for this episode and my girl Dima for showing me the true light of fruits and vegetables and eating broccoli, I would never have become the broccoli eating girl that I am today. So, yes. So I hold sentimental value for this episode. So then, our final Molly and Gil segment, not just of this episode, but of the season. We finally, if I must say, have Gil trying to stand up for himself when the little fish are pretending to be carrots, and they're like, pick us, and he flat out says, no way, I'm not falling for that again. Thank you. Put them in their place. Well, I shouldn't really say that, but tell them what you're not going to stand for. You've been hit with peas long enough. You need a break. But it doesn't last forever. Because he says, because they try to coax him and tell him, please pick us. And then he says, really? You're gonna let us? And can you guess what let us is trying to insinuate? Little Fishes says, he said lettuce. And he gets chased by a herd of lettuce, with the fishes going after him, laughing at him. And that ends not just our episode, but our season. What a way to go out. I guess those who shall end a long season shall be chased by a herd of lettuce. Truer words never said, because they never been said before. I just made it up. But anyway, that ends our season. That ends our episode. We're finally done with season 3. We're finally done. And must I say, what a journey. We have gone through a lot this season. We most certainly have. I feel like, if I must say, reflecting on this season now that I'm older, I feel like this season might have shaped me the most growing up when I was in school. I don't know, I just felt like a lot of things that was in these season 3 episodes, most of these things, I took into consideration when I was growing up. When I first started out in school, you know how I explained that Get Ready for School aired on the first day when I started kindergarten. So that's already like a sign that this season followed me throughout my early school years, public school years, and like within like the other years, when like the other episodes growing up, I feel like, this season, in my opinion, shaped me the most, I just don't know what to say. I just season 3 was just a really good season. And by far its longest season. Yes, it's its longest season. Oh my goodness. I just don't know what to say. But I will say this to you guys. Thank you so much for joining me throughout this whole season 3 journey. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being with me the whole way. Just thank you so much. I can't thank you guys enough. Just like how I was thankful for you guys for joining me for season 1. Even though throughout that journey I took a bit of a hiatus, but I came back. I thank you guys just as much as I did at the end of my season 2 review, Good Hair Day finale review. And I thank you guys just as much, even more, for the season 3 finale review, for joining me through this whole journey. I can't thank you guys enough. I really can't. So, can y'all do me a big solid? Tell me your top 5 favorite episodes of this season. It doesn't have to be in no order. Or maybe or maybe it does, But as long as you tell me your favorite episodes of this season, your top 5, that's all I want from you. That's all I want from you guys, It's not a big task. Just tell me your top 5 favorite episodes of this season. And hopefully in the comments we'll be able to we can talk about how, said episodes that you put on your top 5 list shaped you or made you happy or how much you enjoyed it. Who knows? But that's only for you guys to make possible. No rush. So, of course I have to give off my rating. I'm going to give it a 10. Because this episode was a great way to end off this season. I feel like it was a good way to end off this season. I can't believe we're finally done. It was a journey. But we finished. And I'm so happy that we got through with it. Not just with me, but all of us together. All of us together. Because as much as I do for you guys to give you these reviews and for seeing how much you guys love them and how much you guys enjoy them, appreciate them, and for me to telling you all my silly little stories behind these episodes and how much I enjoyed it, said songs, said moments, funny moments, sad moments, epic moments. It means a lot to you, girl. And I'm happy I have some people out there that really enjoy the show as much as I do. I really appreciate it. I really do. So, with all that being said, we can finally close the book on season 3 of Bubble Guppies. We're all done. And you know what that means? We only have 3 more seasons left to go. But, you know what? I thought I should say this since it makes sense. We're going to be reviewing our last season of the original run. Because, season 5 is the reboot revival seasons. Season 5 and 6. So, yeah. With all that being said, tune in to me next time as we will be officially moving on to season 4. And not just season 4, but this show's shortest season of the series within the original and the revival. So, tune in to me next time as we will be reviewing our first episode of season 4. Season 4, episode 1, The Glitter Games. See you all next time. Peace out. See what I did there? Peace out. So long, everyone.